Okay, well, again, Kamui, we'll get to the thing at the end. He already knows that. But whatever. So, okay, so Mello, first of all, so we're having a conversation. Do you think Otsutsuki... Okay, we're not. Go ahead.
There's a first of all. I'm assuming there's a second of all. How many of alls am I getting hit with?
Well, one at a time. Like, I'll allow you to address the first of all before moving to the second of all. Okay, yeah. So first of all, we were having the conversation the other night about the Otsutsuki.
Well, I'm curious how many of alls we're gonna go through.
We'll get to it. I don't know off the top of my head. We'll find out. Maybe there's going to be more along the way. It's about the journey along the way, Kamui, not the end destination. Sheesh. Okay, so conversation the other night about Otsutsukis and whether or not they can heal. First of all, I want Kido's take on. I guess this is zeroth of all, but Kido, do you think all Otsutskis have some form of healing or regeneration?
In other words, can Momoshiki and Ishiki and Oroshiki regenerate? And Kinshiki?
No.
At all.
They have they can heal. I can heal. So I have some form of like regenerative ability. Like I can like regrow cells in some sense.
Yeah.
So I think they have like an advanced version of it to some extent, but not regenerate. So if they lose like a limb, a finger, a horn, it's not gonna grow back.
I agree, specifically the horn.
Yeah. The gold.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same as flying. I think they just all can do it, just to varying degrees. Well, okay. So I also think it's not just a passive automatic thing. I think they have to choose to do it. So specifically looking at Madara, Madara had healing, but he could just choose when to do it. And you can say, why doesn't he just do it immediately? Oh, I don't know. Ask Madara. He's the ninja genius tactician that decided not to. He clearly has knowledge that we don't know of why not to heal. Or it just didn't matter until a certain point to where he did heal. And especially applying that to these arrogant Otsutskis, it would just make sense that they wouldn't heal if they didn't feel like they needed to, especially when fighting inferior creatures.
My main problem though is, what's your evidence of Ishiki, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and so on having healing abilities? You're just saying, I think they do, but on what evidence? What makes you think that?
It's an ability of the Karma Seal.
The Karma Seal stated. The Karma Seal is stated to heal. Yeah, no, I agree. But like, what is the Karma Seal? 100% of that Otsutsuki's genetic material.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that, though. The Karma Seal just has abilities independent of the Otsutsuki. We've seen this. Ishiki does not have ninjutsu absorption. He can shrink jutsu. He can't absorb it. But yet his Karma Seal can absorb it. It's like 100% of Ishiki magically poofed into existence a new ability that Ishiki didn't have.
So
the same could apply with healing.
Kido, for example, just a hypothetical, alternative, different dimension version of Naruto from some separate universe, different timeline.
Menma.
Naruto, sure. In that timeline, if that's the version that the audience watched, let's just say the audience never learns Hashirama can heal. But anyone that gains a Hashirama cell can heal. That means with high certainty, Hashirama could heal. Because why? He was comprised of Hashirama cells. So there you go. It's like the same idea. Yeah.
The problem
healing is different from regeneration. So even if you look at it this way, right? So hold on. Do you believe they can heal or regenerate? Which one? Like regenerate limbs or just heal wounds? Which one do you believe?
I think we're on the same page, but just to make sure,
because there's a difference.
Yeah, can you clarify that difference just so we all are on the same page?
For example,
go ahead.
Limbs.
For example, Madara's legs chopped in half, he regrows his legs. Versus Naruto in the tuning exams when he had a cut on his finger or his wrist and then it healed. What level are we talking? Are we talking about the level of healing a cut or healing a leg?
Yeah. So like, we can heal wounds, but we can't like regenerate a limb if we lose it. We're not like lizards and shit.
Well, so I think in like 1% of rare cases we can, but that I'm not going to count that, obviously.
Okay.
But what level of healing regenerative ability are you even referring to?
Yeah, so we can
I've been under the impression that
know which one to argue against.
Madara regrowing his legs level. If you mean something different, that could change the game.
Because I think it's very clear that Otsutsukis can't regenerate limbs, right?
I think they can't regenerate their horns, which is why they care when their horns destroyed. But bringing this to, well, I guess, do you have anything else to say before I guess going further?
Can you answer our question first?
Me? What's the question?
Oh,
Yes, yeah. What are you
listen.
arguing for? which level of
Is it that they
healing are
can
you
heal limbs
arguing
and
for?
legs, or is it just they can heal cuts? Like what level of
No, I
regenerative
think the
ability?
base is that they
Do
can
you believe
all
they have?
obviously heal cuts in general, bruises, whatever. Scars, I don't think anyone can heal in
Mhm.
general. In terms of limbs, it's unclear. But just for the sake of being extreme, I'll say they can all heal limbs. Just for the sake of being extreme, even
Okay, so
regardless
that's
of
what I
if I
thought you
believe.
meant
By
to
the way,
be honest the entire
by the way,
time.
a
But what do you
scar
actually
is
believe?
a healed wound. By the way, so
Oh, there you go. All right, perfect.
But what do you actually believe, Billy? Because the whole time I thought you genuinely were
Oh, I don't
meant
know.
the
So
regen
I
of
don't
limbs. Do you
believe
even believe
anything.
that?
I don't believe in anything because
but
I don't know. But I'm gonna
I
make
think
the
the
argument.
main
So
the main
yeah,
thing
of
is
course.
Ishiki,
Because the
right?
contrary
Ishiki
argument is
lost
that
his
they
lower
don't.
half and never regenerated.
Exactly. People say
Right.
that so
So
they couldn't have it. Yeah, this is the same question from the other night. Do you think Otsutskis can heal / regenerate? All of them.
Heal / regenerate.
Yeah, like for example, all of them
we're
can
obviously
fly.
we're
Even if it's like
yeah, like
different
we're
extents.
excluding.
So
We're,
really the question is, do you think they can all regenerate like to the level of Madara, regrowing legs, regrowing arms, stuff like that?
Jupito healed too.
I think the answer is objective, and it's mostly because
Not just a no, but an objective.
the first thing that you would have to establish. The first thing that you would have to establish is that there are Otsutsuki that exist that we haven't been made privy to.
Yeah.
For instance, like the ones in the scratched out Ten Tails dimension, right? Like we don't really know, but we do know that they are Otsutsuki. We don't know who they are. Could
Or
be
the
characters
ones
we've been introduced to.
Urishiki mentioned, the main
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
So once you establish that, because they're an unknown element, you don't know if you can associate what you see with the ones that have been established with the ones that haven't. So I wouldn't like try to conflate those. So if it's can Otsutsuki, I'm taking that in totality. And because there's an unknown element within Otsutsuki, I can't say yes. So the answer has to be no.
So let's frame the
Regardless of what
conversation.
the ones we've seen do.
Yeah, exactly. Let's frame the conversation to not of totality all of Otsutsuki, because we don't even know what Otsutsuki technically is if we expand to knowledge we don't know. Like, anyways, but let's just clarify all the Otsutskis that we have knowledge of, or just all the knowledge we have in general.
yeah, so that would be like
My answer would be the same. Because the knowledge that I do know, I get what you're trying to ask, but the knowledge that I do know is that there are other Otsutsuki. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Like the main branch family, blah blah blah, right? So I know that it's a thing. It's not like headcanon or it's like appeal to ignorance. That's not what this is. I actually know that they're there, but I don't know about them. And I can't like just assume because then I would draw a parallel to like humans, right? Like there's John in Minnesota and then Jack in Florida. But just because Jack has something in Florida doesn't mean John has it in Minnesota. But they're humans, right? But I know that they both exist. But one's an unknown element, but I know about Jack or John.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that they exist, it's the fact that in general we don't know everything there is about Otsutsuki. If we hypothetically knew about what an Otsutsuki can consist of, the limits to where it can reach, it wouldn't matter whether or not we don't know if others out there exist, because we would know the extent of their abilities anyways.
Yes, so this would get me to like the answer objectively has to be no. But then like you can just look at like human, like Hashirama could heal, but like I don't know, name whatever human he can't heal, right? Mitsuki can heal, he did it in the tuning exams. Sarada can't, just naturally. So there are differences within species, obviously. But getting to the question I think you're asking, like the established Otsutsuki that
the ones we've seen. Do you think all the ones we've seen can regenerate?
I would say you take it a case by case basis, and then you would look at everything they have at their disposal, from like something like a karma to their actual abilities, dojutsu, so on and so forth, and then you would take a look and see what it does. I wouldn't say like inherently they all have that, the ones that we've seen, because they all seem to, the ones that can heal seem to heal through some kind of mechanic that isn't necessarily shared throughout all of them. So like in the case of Kaguya, it's like the 10 tails Jinchuriki through Madara, her vessel, and then she can like heal her wounds and so on and so forth. And then in the case of Momoshiki, he seems to have like when he consumes his chakra peels, that comes about through like the mechanic of his Rinnegan, which isn't like not in the possession of any other Otsutsuki, potentially outside of Boruto. And then the same thing goes for, you know, whoever you want to say can heal. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Urashiki through his transformation mechanic. he can heal his poison or something of the sort. But even then, the transformation was so distinct to him, and that, like, even taking into consideration that were applied in the transformation itself to set up, like, he consumed his own eyes, he consumed chakra in that like gourd. Well, what was that? Well, like, so there's so many different like elements at play. I wouldn't even like associate that with like Momoshiki's transformation.
Right.
And then lastly, you have something like Ishiki. I don't recall, this is my memory, him healing of any kind. So I can't really just give him something like that. So that would be my answer. No.
In addition,
case
I
by
want to
case
say really
for me.
quickly on Urushiki, it's really interesting. He consumed chakra, but not his gourd. But his gourd should be made of chakra as well.
I think he did consume his gourd.
I
He
might just
consumed
be
his gourd,
misremembering.
Yeah, he like
Okay,
slurped.
never mind.
He like slurped it up.
Okay. Anyways,
He's so
okay.
interesting. He's like one of the most interesting ones. Like,
So this
really
isn't a
dropped the ball.
counterpoint because I think this is actually a really interesting discussion. This is a question, but it's a long question and it's multiple questions in one. But just hear me out, okay? So let's determine the extent of what. Again, this is completely baseless speculation, but the extent of what we think or would guess healing applies to. So we know healing applies to at least Naruto, the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. I don't know if it applies to all Jinchuriki, but I would be under the assumption that it would. But it's because of the tailed beasts that they are able to heal. So can the tailed beasts heal? And then the tailed beasts were split from the creation of all things, from Hagoromo. So is it because of the creation of all things that they can heal? Or is it because of Hagoromo? Because can the 10 tails, the base 10 tails by itself, can that heal? Can the God Tree heal? And finally, if an Otsutsuki is the 10 tails, like Kaguya from the manga, can that Otsutsuki heal when it's in its Otsutsuki form? And does that mean other Otsutsuki that can't heal aren't the 10 tails, at least at that moment in time? And that's all the questions.
I
Okay,
hope
so-
that this line of questioning is getting us to like this Kaguya thing that you're holding in your back pocket.
So
I hope you're setting it up to get there.
No.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's
Aw,
not.
damn it.
We're just gonna get there then. But
Got my
in
hopes
terms
up.
of, all right, I lost track of half of them, but in terms of the God Tree, at least, that doesn't seem to heal based off of what we've seen. Like when it's cut in half, it doesn't just grow again; it just stays cut in half.
It could,
You could
but
argue, I
slowly,
guess the
'cause
tree
it's
chose
big.
not to grow. but
Exactly, yeah.
Based off what we see, it seems like
Plus that
heal.
God Tree might be different because that God Tree might be Kaguya. That God Tree was talking to Madara. Was that the God Tree or was that Madara? Or, I mean, Kaguya. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be a special.
well,
I mean, the goal,
I was
the
thinking of
goal
in
was
particular
different. You know?
Shiki's in that dimension. It got cut in half by Chojiro's sword, and then it just never healed.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
also
was
Naruto-
that God Tree alive? I mean,
That's a
was
good
there, like, do you believe that there was a 10 tails under that tree?
Man, I don't fucking know. But based off what we've seen, it doesn't seem like the tree heals what's cut, which is weird.
It might not heal if it's already
I don't
drained.
remember if we
Like,
ever saw the 10 tails
that
get cut.
that
to
God
need
Tree
to
on
be
Momoshiki's
healed.
planet did seem like the planet was drained of life if it had any
Yeah,
before.
like the tree just absorbed everything. The
Yeah,
fruit
so it's
was eaten,
possible
and then it was just,
afterwards, like if it
dead.
already produced the fruit, it doesn't have any purpose to heal.
I would
mean,
say
Or it didn't have the chakra to do it because Mamashiki extracted it.
Yeah. So
I
that might have
would
been a
say
dead tree.
Yeah, God Tree revert back
the
to
tin-
I think so. Anyways, go ahead.
at the very least, I would like draw a distinction between the 10 tails from Shippuden and like any other 10 tails that could exist. Mostly the one in like Boruto. Even if there is like later on, time of recording, I'm working with what I have. But later on, there's like some information that is linked. I'm not taking that into consideration now because I can't see the future. And I'm assuming that there are other 10 tails out there. I think the lore states that or something of the sort. So I would say the 10 tails from Shippuden can heal.
Okay.
Do
So
you guys agree with that?
well,
That statement?
yes,
I
Is that
think
accurate?
so
But-
too. I mean, I think even the regular tail bees can, because bees' tentacles for the 8 tails have been chopped off multiple times. You go to the
Yeah.
Boruto scene when Bee versus Momoshiki, all tentacles are back again, implying that at
Well,
least 8 tails
that
can
could just
heal.
be the
You would wanna-
octopus factor of it. But you go ahead.
Maybe
I think even
take
his
it like
horn heals. That
maybe take it
counts.
like one thing at a time. Like
Mhm.
so like if you keep it like so we agree like the 10 tails can heal. Like if Kaguya's the 10 tails, Naruto blitzes her, cuts the arm off, but then she reconstitutes, and then later on she has that arm. Like we agree like the 10 tails equals heal, can heal.
Yeah.
I would assume.
But if
so,
you
if
disagree, I
had
just
to
want to know.
guess.
I'm just putting that out there
Yeah.
so I can.
No, I agree. So actually, my
because
question's
your answer would
based off of
determine where I
that.
go.
Yeah, my question based off that is, why do you think the Tintails can heal? Because I think Naruto can heal not because of Kurama, but because of the red chakra in particular, which is interesting because that red chakra also is anti-healing. It's poison, at least to other people, and to Naruto himself because it burns his skin, boils his blood or whatever. So it's really interesting how it just heals him.
Well,
I think it's the chakra from the Ten-Tails.
It could be
there's
the
this statement
Nine
in
Tails
the-
specialty as well. We don't know if the other Jinchuriki can heal, but I would imagine they can.
Yeah, but just to address Mello's question, I think there's a statement about Kaguya. I think it's the Momoshiki statement that he wanted to gain the immortality pills that Kaguya consumed from this Ten-Tails. And also, like different planets have different like levels of potency. So it could be the Ten-Tails itself, or it could be the chakra it extracted from the planet that gave it this ability, and that then transferred to Kaguya because she consumed the chakra pill.
I guess for me, like to me it's like, well, can humans see? And then I'm like, well, obviously exclude like people who can't, but generally speaking, can humans see? And then we're like, oh, well, humans can't see, but like their eyes can see. Well, like if the humans have eyes, humans can see. So so when I say like the Ten-Tails can like heal, and maybe you can find a better analogy there. It's just off the top of my head, but I think the gist of what I'm trying to get comes through, hopefully. So like regardless of where the Ten-Tails got the chakra from, or what like other like Kaguya consumes a chakra fruit that creates some kind of genetic mutation that manifests in like dojutsu that gives her healing powers, which I assume is what happened with Momo and his Rinnegan. That's an assumption. Regardless, it's now a part of them. It's incorporated with them. This is the reason why I drew a distinction between like that specific Ten-Tails and any other Ten-Tails. So that specific Ten-Tails, no matter what or how he got or it got what it got, it can do what it can do, no matter what the mechanic of it is.
If you believe that, well, I mean, it's fact. Kaguya did merge with the Ten-Tails, so yeah, this Ten-Tails would have the ability to heal since Kaguya gained the ability to heal through immortality or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Kaguya turned into that Ten-Tails, so I feel like there's a decent chance it would just transfer to the Ten-Tails anyway.
Yeah, going off of that though,
Kaguya had it before.
So
that's if the Ten-Tails didn't already have it, since it literally gave Kaguya that chakra fruit.
Wait, sorry, but there was
back and forth.
There was an actual point that I was trying to get to with that. So since we agree that the Ten-Tails can heal, the specific one I'm talking about, which is like Kaguya from Shippuden, then I would say that specific Ten-Tails can heal. I wouldn't attribute that to all Ten-Tails as I mentioned. I would take a look at the Boruto one now, and then I would look at that one and say I haven't seen any indications of its ability to heal. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, maybe you can say
one that we could do. There's a scene of a Clawgrime kind of healing in like chapter
I wouldn't even
2 or 3.
Well, I'm not sure if I would have considered like because I want to like put everything in its own proper category. Because I think the Clawgrimes are something different, and the possibility of another element being at play could result in the healing of that grime. If
like
that
the white karma.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Right. So if we're asking about the tail beast, or we're asking like super specific things,
yeah,
categorizing them is really important. So I don't like, even if Jura starts to heal, I'm not sure if I would feel comfortable associating that with the Ten-Tails. Jura's interesting. He's like the physical embodiment of a Biju, and I'm assuming it's that Ten-Tails. But even then, there's so many other elements at play that could result in that healing ability, like the incorporation of some like Otsutsuki shenanigans. So I would say in the case of the Boruto Ten-Tails, and just that Ten-Tails alone, I have no evidence to support the idea that it heals, so I would say no for that one. So it's an individual basis, the same as the Otsutsuki.
He also has claw marks, and I'm not specifying Code's claw marks because it could just be he has the DNA, the Shinjutsu, that allows him to have the claw marks separate from Code, because he can use the Shinjutsu, the claw marks. He can teleport through them. So it could just be, I don't know if they're Shibai's claw marks, but he has the Shinjutsu. I don't know if that's a Ten-Tails ability or not, to have a Shinjutsu in the first place. But okay, going off of this, I think that's really interesting, though, because the Eight-Tails, when Samehada ate his chakra, it tasted octopus flavor. I can't confirm it, but I would assume Kurama's chakra does not taste octopus flavored. Same with the Ten-Tails. It probably tastes fox flavor and conch shell flavored, respectively, if I had to guess.
How do you know what it tastes? Did
Samehada.
Sadihama talk?
Well, I mean,
yeah,
didn't something say?
mentions it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Kisame speaks Samehada language. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how Kisame knows it, but he just does it. He just has the information. I'm gonna assume he's correct.
What is Samehada? Sorry, I don't want to derail.
Yeah, I know Tsuki. But anyways, so Somehow it can heal. There you go, confirmed. All right, so
It is the 10
no, I think it's just
Chakra,
because
so-
also I don't know if this is because Kurama was inside of Naruto. This might be anime only as I don't think it is, but Kurama gathers nature energy and just sends it to Naruto. Can Kurama just do that? Can all Nine Tails do that? And if so, is that just a natural ability, or is that because of Naruto? Did they always have natural energy within them? Because I think it would have to. It's not just red chakra, it would have to be blue chakra, which in this case would have to be natural energy, which exists on Earth, which is interesting because the Ten Tails is comprised of seemingly only natural energy. I don't think that's true. I think it's just limitless natural energy to where they can't really even compare or sense the red chakra in comparison.
The red
Like I said
chakra could
before,
just be the
this-
10 tails nature energy. We don't freaking know.
I would just take it by an individual basis because the individual nine-tailed beasts, they have like Kekkei Genkai abilities. So Son Goku has abilities that Kurama doesn't. They have certain like abilities. So when we're talking about like what Kurama can do, right? I wouldn't associate that with the other ones unless you see it, right? So if you don't
Yeah.
see it from them, then it's a no. If you do see it, then obviously it's a yes. If you see it from one of them and not the others, you get the point.
Well,
So
okay.
yeah, just
I've been going back and forth with this with Kamui for a while now. Not like debate, just interesting conversation because there's no way to know. The fact that they all of them can do Tailed Beast Bomb. What is the Tailed Beast Bomb? It's the mix of the ratio of chakra. The ratio doesn't matter. It's the mix between two chakras, the Tailed Beast chakra and normal chakra. So they have to have some other type of chakra in order to perform the Tailed Beast Bomb.
Wasn't the
that's
no the Tail Beast Bomb, isn't it a mix between their chakra and nature energy?
No, I'm not saying it's
No,
mixed
it's
with
because
nature. I'm saying it
they're,
would
the
have to
red and
be
blue
some
chakra.
other.
The blue chakra
Yeah.
is what the humans have. The red chakra is what the tail beast have.
Seemingly, the Tailed
Do we
Beasts
need
don't
to
have
because
ignore
like
normal
chakra?
chakra.
Confirm this?
when they're creating the bomb itself, they're pulling energy from the atmosphere, right? I think that's how Minato explained it.
I'm gonna look it up now.
I
don't
mean,
remember.
when
I believe that
And,
because
and
that's
it
how it's
showed like when
depicted.
the things are, yeah, they're pulling energy from the atmosphere itself and using it to create the
how it
sphere.
looks.
But I mean, the atmosphere also contains nature energy. Also,
Yeah.
Gyuki
Yeah.
apparently says it's like throwing up, which Kamui seems to think that means the chakra's coming from inside them as well, which I think also would make sense.
It looks like
Yeah,
there's
it's a mixture of both.
It's a certain
Yeah.
ratio of like negative and positive chakra, it says on Wiki. Take that for what you
It's
will.
an 8-2 ratio. When KCM1
You know,
Naruto's
when is the
training to do
Minato
it.
thing you're thinking of?
Wait, the
Like,
what?
is that the Minato manga you're thinking of, or somewhere else? Kido mentioned Minato saying
Oh.
something. I've said
No, it was
Kido
when he
mentioned
I don't remember where it came from, but he was explaining the logic behind the bomb and how he used that logic to create the Rasengan or
Minato
some
manga, yeah.
nonsense. I don't
So
remember.
it says here, tail beast balls are made from an 8-2 ratio of positive black chakra
Yeah.
and negative white chakra. Users must gather and balance this chakra in their mouths, shape it into a sphere, and then fire it at their target.
Okay,
Gyoki likens it to vomiting.
there you go. So first of all, the fact that it says
says,
it has to be in the mouth,
Naruto-
Jura's is not the Tail Beast Bomb. I just want to say that, but go ahead, please continue.
No, I'm just saying source was Naruto chapter 519 page.
Yeah.
two.
Well, I
So
mean,
that
Jura
chapter
is
confirms
different,
Jura
so technically,
No, it has to be in the
No,
mouth. It
that-
has to.
no,
It
it
has
doesn't.
to. It has to.
No, it
Based on
doesn't.
Naruto
No, it
chapter
doesn't.
519,
No,
it
it
does.
no. Well, this is Boruto, different manga.
Oh, so it's not a
different
continuation.
series.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's another continuation. Okay.
So I think when it says positive black, negative white, I don't think it means yin yang chakra. I think it means QB chakra
Naturally,
and
yeah.
blue chakra, red and blue, really.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you think Kurama has blue chakra? Because like in the anime, when Minato like took him, he's like blue. I think, yeah, in the anime.
So
I'm
I
not sure if that translates
think
in manga though. I'm not sure.
it would make sense to me that it
the
would
chakra
be
color in the
sage
manga
mode.
is yellow.
Yo, that's
That is
crazy.
true.
No, B though in the I'm looking at the manga, it says Biju Chakra. So this is interesting. Okay, B says Biju Chakra is composed of positive black chakra and negative white chakra. I don't know why the positive wasn't the white and the negative wasn't the black.
I was wondering
And
that
the
too.
ratio is the key.
Fix-
But he's
That's
saying
hilarious.
it
So it's just in
contains both.
racism.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's
that's kinda cool.
so many factors with this that we can get into, like the fact that apparently the Ghetto Mazo is both chakraless and filled with chakra at the same time. It's Hagoromo describes it as a chakraless beast, but then Madara siphons the chakra to continue its life. We know that Sage mode allows users to heal beyond normal, and then like there's also the factor
Because
of
it's nature.
reincarnation.
So I was gonna say like the
Naruto.
whole ghettos thing. I guess that's technically possible. Like you can have like a vase full of water, but the vase itself isn't like comprised of water, right? So like you can take the water out of the vase without. Yeah, I think maybe that makes sense.
Well, the thing with the ghetto statue is the point, at least the way it was first described, the point is that Hagoromo extracted the chakra from the Ten-Tails,
All of it.
leaving behind the chakraless body of the monster, which is what the ghetto statue is. But yet, it wasn't actually chakraless based off what Madara does.
Yeah.
So I guess Hagoromo could have just been
And plus
wrong.
the fact
I
that-
think it just regained its chakra over time, probably.
But it would
Or
have to
some of
gain
the
nature
chakra.
energy then, I would imagine. Plus the fact that Nagato uses it as if it has chakra
mean,
before it
technically-
has any of the tailed beasts versus Hanzo. It's just like a mindless
mean,
beast.
The
How does it move?
Ten-Tails uses nature energy, so it isn't implausible. Because
That's exactly what I'm getting to.
I think he was sitting on the moon. Yeah.
Wait,
Exactly.
Oodie, I got one. What if when Madara summoned the ghetto statue, because the ghetto statue was standing still, it absorbed nature energy?
You've said that
Sage
before.
was
You just
pretty
forgot
much.
you said that. That's hilarious. But the point being that
funny. All
the
the more reason why it's true.
the Ten-Tails from the war arc had infinite nature energy, practically limitless, whatever they say. I forget the exact. You get the idea. Anyways, because they say that, I'm gonna
Immeasurable.
assume that's not new. I'm assuming the one from Kaguya's time, it's the same one. It would have nature energy. At least it would have it in general.
Yeah,
I don't know about
Kurama
the
made
same
it seem
amount.
like he knew, like, oh, this is the normal
Mhm.
thing. This is what it always does.
So Hagoromo
This
split.
power they couldn't measure at that time.
Hagoromo split that
Extracted.
chakra. He left behind the body, but he split the chakra. So I would imagine
Mhm.
the tailed beast have nature energy based on that.
And Kaguya's chakra.
Yes, because the Ten-Tails was Kaguya,
Kaguya merged
which
with the
was
Ten-Tails.
split into the Nine-Tails, yes.
Hagoromo split his mother down to 9 Bijus. That's crazy. He didn't know, by the way.
I know.
Even in Shippuden, he didn't. Still didn't know. That's a
Yeah,
crazy.
he
part.
didn't know until Zetsu said it.
I thought he had a knowledge of all things chakra. That's crazy.
I think it's possible getting
Not
into
that
this.
one thing, chakra.
I think it's possible that sage energy, natural energy, is just the means by which regeneration happens in general in Naruto, possibly. It could just be what vitality is, or even life forms emit natural energy. Just all life forms.
Life
Because it would make sense that it's not just
yeah.
frog sage mode and snake sage mode. It would make sense that there's human sage mode and all types of sage mode for every animal. Even plants
We
make it.
talked
Human
about this
sage mode?
before.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. So this is something I've basically said. I think nature energy,
I'll be right back.
for all intents and purposes, is pretty much the same as physical energy. The difference is the physical energy just so happens to be the energy that the humans and toads are using within their own bodies, whereas nature energies, what they call that energy when it's outside of their bodies. And of course, more energy is going to be outside the body than inside the body, because I think we can understand that there's more area for energy to exist in the open
It's just a
world.
different type of
Oh.
energy, like Barian chakra, normal chakra, and nature energy. It's just a different type of energy that's called something else. That's all it is, in my opinion.
I think maybe have any Otsutsuki ever referred to nature energy as nature energy?
No.
Because it might be like a whole like the whole like
Language thing.
ninjutsu is a derivative of shinjutsu, so we just kind of like over time named it a thing, but that's not actually what it is, kind of
Exactly.
situation.
I mentioned this because like there's this scene, this panel where in Boruto, they said that the Ten-Tails absorbs the chakra from the planet.
Who says that?
Let me go back to let me
Because if
find
it's
it
an
real quick.
Otsutsuki, that's
You mean like the
interesting.
divine tree?
Yeah, no, because I was like, there's so many different aspects to energy in this verse, and a lot of our perspective is limited through the characters in which we're viewing the series through, which would be like the shinobi in particular. As time goes on, they unveil like, oh, well, ninjutsu is not really like the start and the finish. It's kind of like, you know, like I said, a derivative of shinjutsu. Well, we didn't know that until we did. So what else don't we know? And that's really interesting. I brought this question up before, like, why is there a toad sage mode specifically? Like, is there like toad nature energies? Like you
Yeah,
only
no.
absorb nature energy from toads in your environment? Like, that's weird. So how does it manifest in those visuals that like Toad Sage Mode Naruto has, like the pigmentation, and then his eyes morph, almost like he goes through some kind of like transformation or like genetic mutation or something temporarily. It's like super weird, but then other sages get other forms. So what's happening mechanically or whatever like kind of chemical or whatever level, genetic level, that's like altering them on that level to where they manifest different results. Like, and then what was Hashirama tapping into? Like, it's interesting.
That's the thing, though.
Hashirama
Have
had
we
Sage
ever
Mode
seen
too.
another Sage mode in Naruto?
Well, I was gonna say I have a thing. I had actually we've done this before. I have an
Code, that's it, I
explanation
think.
for it. I came up with on one
No,
podcast.
I mean like Orochimaru, we've never seen. Like that's the thing, though. Like I don't think we've ever seen Snake Sage mode, as in what it looks like.
That was
Because
Dragon Sage Mode.
Orochimaru.
Bro,
No,
I
but
think
even then, like
it's
Orochimaru never mastered Sage mode, and he just had makeup, and he had like the snake eyes. So because he turned into a snake. Yeah, but then the thing with Kabuto is that he turned into a snake by ingesting Orochimaru's DNA. That was long before he even trained for Sage mode. So
Sage Mode.
Kabuto's
Ooh, this is
genetics and
interesting.
how he looks was changed by Orochimaru's DNA, not by Sage mode
An
specifically.
excellent point. That's an excellent point.
So
yeah.
I think
So
I'm pretty sure it's called Sage Art Inorganic Reanimation. I think inorganic reanimation, the ability to breathe life into non-living things, is a Sage Mode
That's
ability.
crazy, though.
Same with reincarnation, though. I think Hagoromo technically did by come back to life. Same with Kamui, not Kamui, Obito, who used Kamui with the 6 paths ability. I don't think Kakashi could do that. You got Indra and Ashura. You got obviously the 9-tailed beast. Anyone else? Am I missing anyone that reincarnated at some point?
You have to be careful with like descriptors though, because sometimes like they embellish. Like for instance, like the light fang is not quite literally a fang of light, or like that type of thing. So like just like it. So if we're breathing life into inorganic object, is that really what's happening? Or is like some kind of like you get my point, right? I don't see like any indication of life when he did that thing. It's just some shit was moving.
mean,
Like,
it's
I don't
not
know,
just
like...
that one statement. It's like 12 different times in the data book, but that's the data book. I'd have to see what they say in the anime. But it happens pretty consistently.